A rattlesnake can bite a mouse and turn its insides into soup. A cobra can spit venom into an enemy's eyes. A viper can inject chemicals that mess with blood, nerves, muscles, and basically every important part of being alive. So here is a very fair question. Why does the snake not just accidentally kill itself? Like, imagine walking around with a loaded chemical weapon attached to your face. One sneeze, one awkward bite, one bad day where you chew your tongue, and suddenly, congratulations, you have been defeated by your own mouth. But snakes are not usually out here dropping dead from their own venom, which feels weird. Because venom is not mild. Venom is not spicy saliva. Venom is a chemical toolkit designed to ruin another animal's afternoon. So why does it not ruin the snake's afternoon too? The first answer is simple. Venom is not the same thing as poison. And yes, that sounds like the kind of annoying correction someone makes right before everyone stops inviting them to parties. But it actually matters. Poison hurts you when you touch it, breathe it, or eat it. Venom hurts you when it gets injected into your body. So if you eat a poisonous mushroom, bad. If a venomous snake bites you, also bad. But if you somehow eat venom, that is not always the same thing as being bitten by venom. Because venom usually has to get past the outside world and into the soft, important parts inside you. Blood, muscle, nerves, tissue. That is where it does its job. This is why venomous animals usually need fangs, stingers, spines, or some other rude delivery system. Without the delivery system, venom is more like a very dangerous package sitting on the doorstep. Still bad, but not doing much until somebody opens it in the worst possible place. And for snakes, that package is stored very carefully. A venomous snake does not have venom randomly floating around its entire body. It keeps venom inside special glands in its head. Those glands connect to ducts. The ducts connect to the fangs, and when the snake bites, muscles squeeze the venom gland and push the venom out through the fangs. It is basically a tiny face syringe. Horrible, but efficient. So most of the time, the venom is not touching the snake's bloodstream, brain, heart, or muscles. It is locked away, like keeping bleach in a bottle. Bleach is dangerous, but if the bottle is closed, the shelf is not screaming. The problem starts when the dangerous thing goes where it is not supposed to go. So, if venom is stored safely, could the snake still hurt itself by swallowing it? Usually, not much, because venom is mostly made of proteins and enzymes. And your stomach is already a horrible place for proteins. That is kind of the stomach's whole job. It breaks food down with acid and digestive enzymes. So if venom goes into the stomach, a lot of its complicated protein machinery can get chopped up before it causes serious trouble. This is one reason some venomous snakes can eat prey that has venom inside it without instantly dying. The venom did its job when it was injected into the prey. But once it is swallowed and dumped into the digestive system, it is in a completely different battlefield. Now, there is a huge warning here. Do not test this. Do not drink venom. Do not lick venom. Do not become the person whose last words are, actually, technically. This should be fine. Because venom can still be dangerous if you have cuts in your mouth, ulcers, damaged tissue, or any place where it can sneak into the bloodstream. The rule is not, venom is safe to eat. The rule is, venom is built to be injected. That difference is doing a lot of work. But storage and digestion are only part of the answer. Because snakes are not perfect machines. They fight, they miss, they bite prey that bites back. They might accidentally get exposed to venom from another snake. So do venomous snakes have any protection against venom once it gets inside them? Sometimes, yes. Some snakes have resistance to their own venom, and sometimes they have resistance to venom from other snakes too. But this is where things get messy, because venom is not one thing. It is not one magic liquid called snake damage juice. Different snake species have different venoms. Some attack blood, some attack nerves, some stop clotting, some cause too much clotting. Some do a terrible little combo meal of all of the above. So being resistant to one kind of venom does not mean you are resistant to every venom. That would be like saying, I have a helmet, so I am immune to fire. Helpful in one problem, completely useless in another. A snake's own body may have special proteins in its blood that bind to certain venom toxins and stop them from working properly. Some animals also have tiny changes in the body parts that venom normally targets. Think of it like changing the lock on a door. If a toxin works like a key and the target in the body is the lock, then changing the lock can make the toxin less effective. This is one reason some animals can survive bites that would destroy other animals. For example, some prey animals that get attacked by venomous snakes have evolved resistance to those venoms. Mongooses have resistance to some cobra venom. Some ground squirrels have resistance to rattlesnake venom, and some snakes that eat other snakes are resistant to venom too. Nature is basically an arms race, except everyone is tiny and angry and covered in scales. The predator evolves stronger venom. The prey evolves better resistance. The predator evolves even weirder venom. The prey evolves a better biological shrug. And this can go back and forth for millions of years. But there is a catch. Resistance is not free. Bodies do not just get superpowers because it would be convenient. Changing a nerve receptor, or filling the blood with defensive proteins, or building immunity-like protection all costs energy, chemistry, and evolutionary trade-offs. So snakes do not need to be immune to every venom on Earth. They mainly need to avoid poisoning themselves during normal life. And normal life does not usually involve injecting their own venom into their own bloodstream. That is the key part. The venom is stored away. It is delivered outward. It works best when injected into someone else. And if a little venom gets swallowed, the digestive system can often break it down. But what if a snake bites itself? This does happen sometimes. A snake can accidentally bite its own body, especially if it is stressed, injured, tangled, or being handled badly. And depending on the species, the amount of venom, and where the bite lands, it might be okay. Or it might not, because snakes are not magical. Their resistance has limits. A venomous snake is not automatically immune to venom just because it owns some. That would be like assuming a person who makes knives cannot be stabbed. Very confident. Very wrong. The reason the snake normally survives is not because venom is harmless to it. It survives because the venom is controlled, stored in the right place, released in the right direction, and kept away from the snake's own vulnerable tissues. The same is true for lots of dangerous things in biology. Your stomach uses acid strong enough to damage your own body, so your stomach has a protective lining. Your immune system can destroy cells, so it has rules to stop it from attacking everything. Some insects store chemicals that would be dangerous if they leaked into the wrong body part. So they package them carefully. Life is basically a bunch of soft little creatures carrying dangerous tools and hoping the packaging holds. Snakes are just very dramatic about it. And venom itself is especially dramatic because it is not just one weapon. It is a whole toolbox. Some venom contains neurotoxins. These can interfere with nerves and muscles that can cause paralysis, breathing problems, or complete disaster if the wrong muscles stop working. Some venom contains hemotoxins. These mess with blood and blood vessels. They can cause bleeding, clotting problems, swelling, and tissue damage. Some venom contains cytotoxins. These damage cells directly. Basically, they make living tissue regret being there. And some venoms contain enzymes that start breaking down molecules in the prey's body. This can help the snake begin digestion before the prey is even fully swallowed, which is efficient and also deeply rude. But again, these tools are useful because they are aimed outward. A venomous snake is not constantly marinating in this stuff. The snake manufactures venom in a controlled gland, stores it, and injects it through specialized fangs. It is not just drooling death everywhere. Although, to be fair, from the mouse's perspective, it probably feels that way. There is also another important detail. Venom usually evolved for two big jobs: catching food and not getting eaten. For a snake, biting prey is dangerous. A mouse can scratch. A rat can bite. A bird can peck. If the snake can quickly disable the prey, it reduces the chance of getting injured. So venom is not just overkill. It is a safety tool. A snake does not have arms. It cannot hold a mouse down and say, "Please stop moving while I eat you." It has a mouth. That is the plan. So venom helps turn one risky bite into a successful meal. It also makes predators think twice. If something tries to attack a venomous snake, the snake can bite back with consequences. This is why venom is worth the biological cost. Making venom takes energy. Maintaining the gland takes energy. Growing special fangs takes evolutionary commitment. But if it helps you eat and survive, nature is willing to be weird. Now here is the funniest part. Some snakes can control how much venom they inject. They do not always empty the tank. Sometimes they deliver a lot. Sometimes a little. Sometimes they bite without injecting much venom at all. This is sometimes called a dry bite, which sounds like a disappointing sandwich, but is actually very lucky. Why waste venom on something that is not food? If a snake is defending itself, it might bite just to say, "Please leave." If it is hunting, it may use enough venom to stop prey. Venom is valuable. A snake has to make more after using it. So even though snakes carry this powerful chemical weapon, they are not just spraying it everywhere like an excited toddler with a water gun. They are more careful than that. Mostly, so the real answer to why snakes do not poison themselves is a mix of things. First, venom is not poison in the usual sense. It is dangerous mainly when injected. Second, Snakes store venom in special glands, away from the rest of the body. Third, if venom is swallowed, digestion can break down many of its proteins before they do much. Fourth, some snakes have resistance to their own venom or related venoms. And fifth, the snake's body is built around keeping the dangerous stuff separate from the soft, important stuff. So a venomous snake is not immune to danger. It is managing danger. It is a living syringe with scales, a tiny chemistry lab with bad intentions, a noodle carrying a murder smoothie in its cheeks. And somehow, most of the time, it works. The snake bites the prey. The venom goes out. The prey goes down. The snake eats, and the snake does not become the victim of its own face, which is good for the snake, bad for the mouse, and honestly, pretty impressive for an animal with no hands.